Hey everybody, it's Gypsy and welcome to On the Edge of Appalachia. Today is Sunday, November 10th, 2024. And yes, I'm on my way to the flea market to do some vending. So I was thinking about when I first started to learn more about like spirituality, and what I mean by that is spiritualism itself. I had heard of this spiritual teaching, create your own reality. You create your own reality. And this bothered me for a long time. It didn't make sense. In fact, it made me very angry. Now, it had only been, I don't know, a year or two since my son died. So, of course, it was going to make me angry. It took me a long time to figure this out. I think when it comes to anything spiritual or religious, whether it be a teaching from someone or in a religious text, we cannot take it literally. And I think that is what I was doing, taking it too literally. So, and at the time, when you first lose someone you love, especially if it's a child, it's like you just aren't yourself and you can't think clearly. For me, it's like it took 18 months for the shock to wear off, and then when the shock wore off, then I wanted the shock back because it made the pain more intense. So, I don't think that I had the capability at that time to not be so literal about it. And as an artist, we're not typically literal, but, it was just a bad time for me. So anyways, I did not understand it, because how do you create your own reality when you've got other people involved in your life? You live on a planet where there's a hell of a lot of other beings, people, like people and animals, etc. You can't, because if their lives touch your life, they are affecting your life. I looked at it as my reality. So, it was like, okay, my son just died. I did not want that. I did not create that. So, and it's not just something that, it's even down to the littlest thing. People are in your lives every day affecting your life. So how does it happen? How could that be a thing? I really had a hard time with it. I think I just eventually just relaxed and let it go. Okay, I would hear people talk about it, etc. But I just had to leave it. I think anything I don't understand, I'm like, okay, I need to put this over here and just leave it, because maybe I'm just not capable of understanding it, or maybe I'm just not capable at this time of understanding it. And that's where I was with that. At that time, I couldn't understand it. Because you know what? Shit happens in life. And on this level here, the physical level, there are things we can't control. We can't stop it, or we can't make it happen. Especially when other people are involved, because they would have to agree to it. We don't, as we have noticed, we don't all agree on stuff. Come on, little squirrel. Here you go, baby. Get out of the way of the car. Come on. Yeah, bouncing around. There he goes. Anyways, so here's what I finally realized about that. It's not you actually changing the event. Like, okay, if I could create my own reality, I would have, changed it before my son died, and he would still be here turning 37 next month. But that didn't happen. So what I'm saying is, and I definitely learned this from his death, changing your reality means changing your perspective on stuff, even the bad stuff. And it's hard, believe me, I know. So it's all how you view it. Now, even this I have trouble explaining. It's like, all right, when something bad happens, you don't like it, you didn't want it. And I feel when something happens that you perceive as bad, and I say perceive because I'm one of those people, and I know a lot of people are not like that, and they don't believe this, and that's okay. You don't have to. It's no big deal. I feel things happen for a reason. So that's why I say perceive as bad. It's okay to grieve about it, be upset about it. It's normal human behavior. If you try to force yourself to change your perception during that time period, you're not dealing with your emotions. And I believe that's what's called spiritual bypassing, which is not healthy. It isn't. So you can't get too literal there either. You have to just go, I worked for hospice, so when it comes to grief, you just need to go through, I don't want to say steps because it definitely is not straightforward, linear, because you're going to go back and forth. It's a big knot, is what a knot of yarn, that's grief. So anyways, you have to process that, no matter what it is, whether it's a loss of someone you love or anything. It could be anything that you need to grieve over. Do it. But you'll eventually get to the point where you're still not happy about it. Believe me, it's 10.5 years since my son died. I'm still not happy about it. I'm not. But you're in a better place, okay? That is when you can create your own reality with that. In other words, this situation, how am I going to handle it? It's like for me, I could, with my son's death, I could have chosen to be angry and bitter for the rest of my life. But I didn't. I admit, there's times I have bouts of anger still. Yeah, they're not as intense as at the beginning. I can't say I cry anymore, but I do feel the sorrow and the pain. That will never go away, but it's not as intense as before. So, I had to change my perspective. Now, even though it's more common for parents to go first, we know that's not always the case, because life happens, shit happens. And he went first. So I had to look at this differently so that I could get on with my life, because it was either that or make sure I loved. And I have another son who I love dearly. So anyways, and I know it just was not my time. So first of all, the first way I looked at it differently was my son. And I don't really want to go into the details now of what happened. And I will eventually. But he was suffering. He wasn't happy, and he was suffering greatly. I looked at it now because being a spiritualist, I believe in an afterlife, definitely do. He's happy now. He's free. He doesn't have to put up with the BS that goes on this planet anymore. So I looked at it that way, that he was now happy, which I believe is a peaceful, good thought for any parent to know that your child is happy and at peace, no matter what realm, what form they're in. So then I took it even further after that. How does this affect me? What do I do with this? I will tell you, losing a child changes you. You are no longer the same person. And again, you choose how you change. I chose to grow and mature in my spiritual life, but also physically. I mean, they go hand in hand physically. I became more of my own person. I spoke my truth more often without fear. I stopped being a doormat. That's where the anger helped me. The anger, my son's death, it was like, all right, this is the last straw. I don't care anymore. You don't like who I am or what I have to say, get out. Now, I don't be mean to people. I don't take on an attitude. I don't. But once you piss me off, you get really nasty with me, you're gone. And that's all it takes. Or I will tell you off, which is something I never used to speak my truth before. So it helped me grow that way. But it also helped me grow spiritually and have a better understanding of what goes on in the universe and how, why I'm here and how to use it to my benefit to grow spiritually. Because I believe that is why we come into our lives, is to learn and to grow and to become better spiritually, because our true selves are our spirit or our soul, however you want to look at it. And there's so many ways. I mean, the list is endless on how I perceive my son's death is having benefited my growth and maturity. I am in no way saying that it doesn't hurt. 10.5 years later, it still hurts. I still have the anger, like I said. But I allow myself that. Okay, now I'm not taking it out on any. I might write a post on social media like I did last night. I've been seeing over the past few days way too many people wishing people's daughters dead. And I found it appalling. I mean, yeah, you can be angry about what happened, it's fine. But I can't imagine. I mean, I couldn't wish child loss on my worst enemy because it is that horrible. It is a horrible thing. And when you're a middle-aged woman or a young woman, you know, like my grandmother was, both my grandmothers, when they lost children, it skipped a generation. Anyways, both my grandmothers lost children. Now with my paternal grandmother, she lost 2 children. The first one was when she was very young. And my uncle died at 6 months old. And then late in life, my dad died before her. That's painful too. They're both painful. Well, I forgot what I was saying about that. Anyways, I was appalled about what I saw on social media. I mean, everywhere I looked, I was seeing this. And I thought, how horrible. I mean, yes, you could be angry. It's normal. It's natural. Be angry. But to wish something so horrible on others, I thought, wow. That's a bit much. Now, I'm assuming these people never lost a child. Because I think if you lost a child, you wouldn't say that. Okay, you could write a post about how angry you are about the situation, but don't wish it bad on someone else. But I don't do that anymore. That's how my son's death helped me, one of the ways. So that is what's, creating your own reality is not making an event happen or not happen. It's changing your perception of it. Looking at it from a different angle, in a way that benefits and helps you. And when it benefits and helps you, you will have that ripple effect and do the same for others. Create your own reality. How the hell can you do? You can't control people. You can't control others, and you shouldn't. It's a big no-no, controlling others. So how do you create your own reality? Well, I figured it out. It's just how I perceive something. And I feel everything is a matter of perception, which is why we can't go around judging people, because we all have different perceptions, based on our feelings and what has happened to us in life. So, yeah, it's not control. It is changing your perception. And that's all up to you. So I hope I made sense. I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.